I've had a few requests from people to demonstrate kind of the uniqueness and the uses for our LED heat sink here at IAC. This is an end profile of the actual heat sink. As you can see, the fins are at the top. Here's the bottom of it here. These are the holes where the end cap screws go. Also, you can put mounting screws on the bottom. Right in here is the recessed area where the LED chips can sit, where we normally place them, where you don't want it. Obviously, you want all the light shining down into your aquarium. Right here, adjacent to it, is your wire channel. This is where all your wires can run and then run out through the end cap, through the holes that are provided in the end cap. In the center here is a 3/8 inch diameter hole for 3/8 inch tubing. You can run that through there and use it for cooling the heat sink as well as heating your tank. Each heat sink will come with 2 end caps. One end cap will have 3 holes, one for the wires on each side and then the one in the middle for the tubing. They'll also come with the screws in black as shown here. You can also loosen these screws up a little bit and hang cabling from this if you don't want to mount it flat on the top of your aquarium, if you want to hang it higher. As you can see, like I said, from the little cut through section, there's the channels and your LEDs sit inside here. Again, 40 watts per foot. These are 10 watt chips here. That would be 4 chips, 2 on each side, every foot. 2, 4, 6, 8 10 watt chips, so you could do an 80 watt light pretty easily. Now again, as I mentioned before, once you fasten your LEDs, some people screw them, some people there's an adhesive thermal paste that you can use on the back. We've used both seem to work really well. We tend to use the screws only because if you ever have a chip go bad or if you want to change the colors inside of your light, you can do that a lot easier. If it's glued in, it's pretty much permanent. Once those are in place, you strip your wires, you run them down in through this channel and then out through the end. Got another one here. Little side profile here, so you run it down in through the channel and out through the end cap as such. Then you force your wires, kind of mold them down in there and run them out to where you want them. That keeps everything nice and tight inside there, so when this is laying on your aquarium you don't have wires hanging out, don't have any issues like that. Once all your wires and your LEDs are installed, soldered together, what we typically do, what we definitely recommend you do, is get a piece of plexi or a piece of glass. We typically use glass because of the heat. And run a piece of glass with a bead of silicone on each side, right here and right here, to cover this entire groove. Allows you a good way to keep salt creep out if you have a saltwater aquarium. Also splashing from the fish, anything like that. To install your tubing, if you do want to use the tubing to heat your aquarium, a lot of people find that when they go to LED lights, if they've had halogens or incandescents or anything like that, that heats your tank a lot. When you go to LEDs, the temperature in your aquarium will typically go down. A lot of people make up for that with heaters and other things. Well, a lot of the reason you go to LED is to save money. So what we devised was this channel that runs down through the center. Take your 3/8 rubber tubing, pop the end caps off. If you choose to, you can also leave them on. Put it in one end. We found that needle nose pliers, once you push in just a little bit of that rubber tubing, grab it with the needle nose pliers, have one person feeding it in, another person pushing it all or pulling it all the way down with a pair of needle nose pliers, pull it out the other end. We recommend keeping one continuous piece, obviously to reduce the possibility of leaks. And then a lot of ways to connect this. Some people do in the overflow box. They'll put one end and they'll siphon to the return, your sump pump at the bottom of the other end. Some people prefer to use a pump. I know eBay sells quite a few little 12-volt pumps or DC or 110 AC pumps, either way, that hook to a 3/8 inch tubing. And obviously, if you're in the aquarium world, you understand, if you siphon, the power goes out, then you can siphon out your aquarium. Make your own provisions for that, but it's just something to be concerned with. So that's it. That's the heatsink. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Like I said, 40 watts a foot. We've had many builds. We've built many lights with this particular heatsink. Had no issues as long as you stay under that 40 watts per foot, and as long as you keep the fin side open air. So you can't put this in a box and expect it to work right. If you want to put it in a box, you have to put a fan on it to make sure there's airflow across it. But if this is in the open air, as you'll see in some of our other pictures on our website, then 40 watts a foot, you're fine. If you want to go higher than 40 watts a foot, we don't recommend it. We have done it, but you definitely need to do something, either the water cooling or the water cooling and a fan, depending on how aggressive you want to get with your lighting. I can tell you 40 watts a foot, you can grow most corals. We have a coral growing division in our company, and these are the heat sinks we use, these are the lights we use, and it works great for us.